wants to look at the library. We talked about the regulatory reform piece, and then we just briefly touched on Office of Broadband Development. And the Office of Broadband Development piece is something that John is working on. We really haven't had a chance to look at that in any detail, and so our takeaway from that was we were all going to look at it closely and send any comments to John.
Okay.
And I guess our expectation was that a lot of our recommendations for this year will be similar to last year as far as supporting the Office of Broadband Development, supporting grant programs, and those sorts of things.
Okay, so
I don't know, I can keep going, but I figure that's one topic area, so maybe we stop there, get any other input, and then continue on to
So in our committee too, what we did was kind of lifted the language from last year's report with a recommendation, and the draft title for the recommendation is create an Office of Broadband Operating Fund to promote broadband adoption and use, and it's very similar to last year's recommendation. You don't put a figure in there. You just say that you recommend that the fund be managed, the operating fund at a specific amount to be determined between the OBD and the legislature that would allow the office to advance and support programs and projects aimed at promoting adoption and use. So that's very similar to last year's recommendation.
So at some point we'll want to make sure we combine these two rather than having them
Right.
disparate.
I think by next meeting we want to have a concise. Do you have a number for us by the next meeting of what needs submitted? For
what you're looking for is what the office is thinking about internally.
Yeah. You don't have to say it now.
I was going to say, we're not free to discuss the legislative proposals until the governor reviews and determines what he wants to pursue. So getting to where we need to be for the task force, we have to take a look at how best to do that. The other piece is there's the question of what that is given the current scope of work and what might come out of our recommendations.
Right, and so, yes, and so I think that's what we're partly looking for, like between now and the next meeting, if there's sort of information that can be even shared behind the scenes that then might inform, if there's other things that the task force thinks needs to be added to the scope of work that would increase that number, that we can say,
So if there's like a hypothetical number we could advocate for based on our report, not really what you're doing today.
without disclosing it.
So for instance, all the good recommendations around the state ones, many
Yes,
of
right.
them are work for the office,
Right,
as opposed to
exactly.
legislative changes. And while this subject is listed in the charters of the office, there are not financial resources for the person
Yes.
doing this work.
Exactly. And that, I think, is what we're talking about. Like, in addition to any sort of base funding that would be needed to operate the office, then additionally, an estimate needs to be made if we're going to recommend these sorts of things. We need to be fully accountable for that.
Yes, and maybe what we can talk offline and
Yeah.
and I can help inform some of
Right.
the details.
Because we want to be
I just have to
clear.
be cautious. I'm not sure exactly how far we go in this setting.
Yep, totally get it. Okay, that's helpful. So I think that it's generally accepted that we're going to make some recommendation around a base funding for the Office of Broadband. Then, as we add on additional things that we think are important to be done policy-wise that may fall in the purview of the Office of Broadband, whether we say, this is the thing that needs to be done. We may either say, this is the thing that we think needs to be done. I don't know that we have to list each of those singly out, but we may say, here's our recommendations for other things that would be valuable to have done by the Office of Broadband. All of these things would require an additional X dollars to be whatever. And we would keep somewhere the back calculation of maybe independently what those things are, just to know, so that you know. That might make some sense. So sort of two calculations, one a base funding and then one an add-on funding.
Just as a matter of record, I think we made a choice in the last 2 years to not put a number in there. And I don't know, I don't recall the reason why we chose not to, but to Shannon's point, this is last year's recommendation, just said, at amount to be determined. I'm all in favor, I would be, I don't have a point of view on the relative merits of us putting a number in there or not. I think the fact that we urge that there be an operating budget to promote adoption and use is the main point. And the number is maybe, you've always helped us, Margaret, see what our purview is.
Here's why I'm concerned. I'm concerned that they haven't exactly always gotten an operating budget. And so I'm wondering if we need to change our strategy and actually support a number to say, to point to legislators to keep doing the work, they actually need to do something here. I don't know. I think it's for a discussion. It's for a discussion a little bit with the department and with the office to know what they're comfortable with. But so far, we've had some issues with people understanding it does take a little more to run the office.
Now, would you just do a quick recap? You said, so fund the office, what were you had a few other ones, big ones?
Yes.
Well, no, that's a separate, that would,
Yeah, so if you, yeah.
so next
okay.
piece, I can go on to dig ones, library and regulatory reform are the other three. So I'll go on to dig once. Dig once, the draft of the report is in your hands as it sits right now, and everyone
So
is.
that's dated October 4th. Can you just kind of say what we're looking for in the packet? Is that dated October 4th?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Governor's task force, October 4th, dig ones, discussion draft. And what we have here is pretty much a very short narrative defining what dig once is, trying to identify what the opportunity is and what the potential cost savings might be, identifying the Minnesota statute that already imposes some of these responsibilities on the Office of Broadband Development, and then talking a little bit about what we thought was sort of the major opportunity to come before the task force this year, which was the Public Facilities Authority with the number of dollars that they're putting out there in projects and the number they have on the slate and the opportunity that creates. And then identifying going forward, the number of projects that are looking there on the priority list, some 271 projects totaling $392 million, was identifying the opportunity and then just concluding that they present significant opportunities. Tried to do a couple of things here. One, wanted to be very sensitive. I thought Jeff Freeman did an excellent job and was very open about the opportunity, and so I wanted to present this in a pretty positive way that really just is saying, we've identified this opportunity and people are willing to work together, and it's not, I tried to avoid anything that might be looked at as critical. And so it was short, and then went to the recommendations. The recommendations are the ones that you've already seen a few times, but in our discussion today, we decided that we wanted fewer recommendations, the idea that less is more. So what we're going to be doing is combining aspects of 1, 2, and 3 into a single recommendation, and we'll also be combining aspects of 2 and 6 into a single recommendation, and so that will reduce the number by a couple there. We decided to eliminate number 7 because the Public Facilities Authority already works with those federal agencies, specifically the USDA is the primary one that the cities and counties work with to get loans and grant-like loans and funding. So that will reduce the opportunities. We're going to insert a photo of the streets, probably one of the ones that we saw. There is a graphic from the National Broadband Task Force report that we're going to insert. I think I gave all of mine away, but it's a nice graphic. It's kind of a bar graph. We thought added a little pizzazz. I left out in the narrative the discussion of what other states, cities, and ordinances are doing, just with the thought that that's too much depth and detail than a reader's really going to want. So we're going to put that into a chart that lists probably the 10 to 20 ordinances and state statutes with a jurisdiction, a web link to the ordinance or statute, and then a 1 or 2 word line description of what the ordinance is. The model Dig Once ordinance that was presented in the Dig Once discussion from Colorado, we decided to include as an appendix because it's a very thoughtful piece that people at least can have as a resource. We condensed the number of recommendations, and we decided not to. We had some discussion about possibly seeking amendment of Minnesota Statutes 116J.391. If you look at that, it has some express direction of the office to work with MnDOT and then to work with state agencies as to state-owned land and buildings, and then it says to the extent practicable to also work with local entities. And we thought, well, maybe we need a little more to get the public, to give the Public Facilities Authority the impetus to do that. And upon discussion, we were concerned that all of a sudden we are kind of kicking a wasp nest of any potential person who might be interested in getting funding from the Public Facilities Authority. We thought it might be better to just have these recommendations, let the Office of Broadband Development, which is already within DEED, try and coordinate with Jeff Freeman and Tim's group and see if things don't work better. So that's it on